Hi, it's Lee from ColouringQueen.net, and today I've got The Secrets of Colouring 2 by Jennifer Zimmermann. Now, Jennifer first had Secrets of Colouring #1 last year, and you might have seen my review of that. Now, I know some of you may have seen my previous video where I told you I basically left a lot of my colouring books in Sydney because I no longer felt the joy in them. Did I leave Secrets of Colouring 1 behind? No, I didn't, because it still sparks joy. It's an excellent book. If you haven't already seen the review, it's a really, really great book. Now, Secrets of Colouring 2 takes things to a different level. And the great thing about Jennifer, these are both A4 size, by the way, and they both are the same, so they'll fit well on the bookshelf together. Now you might notice that my Secrets of Colouring 2 is a little bit banged up. That's not the fault of Amazon that delivered the book, it's the fault of Australia Post that decided to fold it in half to squeeze it into my PO box this morning. So not very impressed with Australia Post. So we start off with the title page, which is the same as the front cover. Now, Jennifer compiled this book based on feedback that she received from other colourists and because she also reads, all the Amazon reviews and listens to what people actually want, and you can read through here and she tells you a bit about that. I know some artists don't like to read Amazon reviews, but I think it's really great that not only does Jennifer read those reviews and also feedback from people on Facebook and Instagram and whatnot, but she also takes on board the things that people want. And a lot of people were saying that they wanted more backgrounds and more background effects and how to fill the white space on a page when you've just got one focal point and what you can do with the rest of the page. So she took that on board, and she also took on board the current trend for glowing objects or getting that real light into an object. So when I got this morning, I quickly read through it because I'm really just keen to get this filmed and then have a go at one of the tutorials and see how I go, because I'm only a beginner. And if you've already got a copy of this book, make sure you leave her a review, because this book would have taken months and months and months of effort to prepare. So we've got this great table of contents here. So you can see that this is an advanced book, so she's going to give out some money-saving tips and hacks. She does a lot of pencil research in here as well. So you don't have to use the brands of pencils or markers that Jennifer uses. You can, of course, use what you have to hand or budget ones, but just bear in mind that you're going to get a great effect because it's a skill and the technique that she's teaching, but it's just not going to look the same as hers. So Jennifer was a teacher, art teacher for 20 years, and that really shows if you actually read through everything that she's written down. She has a real teaching philosophy, and you can tell that she was a teacher because she's always looking to actually teach you something and understanding that people learn in a different way and that some people don't have access to certain resources. So she's always suggesting alternatives and other options that you can use. So I actually learnt something new about paper. Just from reading through on this. I've always known that paper is really important, but I didn't realise it affected the colour so much of the effect. But reading through on here has been really helpful for me, and that's just on a first quick read. So once I really study it more, I think I'll learn a whole lot more. So she teaches you some principles there in the beginning, and then we get into these techniques. Now they're all numbered step by step, and there might be too many steps for some people, but the thing about teaching is that you always try and have as many steps as possible for people that need more information. So some people might just be able to look at, the first picture and replicate it, but others, like me, definitely need a step by step. And it's not only Jennifer that's doing these tutorials in here, it's also a couple of colorists as well, and you'll see their work. This one here, for example, is Lily Sense. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. You can follow her on Instagram, and isn't that gorgeous, as well as all these different options. Now you see that I do have my hands a little bit more over the book than usual, and that's because it's a tutorial book and it's not really fair for me to show out all the information that Jennifer has got on here. So I knew this Easter bunny was in here, and Jennifer actually sent me a picture of what it looked like. I mean, I was going to buy the book anyway, but seeing that Easter bunny, of course, I had to have it. Here we've got the foil Easter egg as well. Isn't that gorgeous? Now in this book, Jennifer mainly uses Prismacolors, but as I said earlier, you don't need to use Prismacolors. She does use a few luminance pencils as well, and just some ordinary supplies that if you're doing the advanced techniques that you would probably already have, like a Posca pen or a white gel pen. And she does use some markers as well. You can, of course, use cheaper markers as well, cheaper brands. Do you know, I've found over the years that I would much rather just buy my Copic markers or my Spectrum Noir ones that are refillable, because they work out cheaper in the long run. But if you're not sure if you like markers, there's cheaper marker alternatives there that you can use. So I absolutely love this gift bow. Doesn't it look fabulous? So come Christmas, being able to replicate that is going to be fantastic. I love all these tips that she does, because again, that sort of, it reminds me of teaching myself, and I've got to say, I really miss my little angels since I've stopped teaching. So I've got gingerbread men, baubles, gift bows, so much stuff. So it means come Christmas, I'm going to be truly prepared. Now here's another guest tutorial by Coloured by Me, and isn't she fabulous? Look at all these lovely little dots that she does, it's fantastic. And this is a really great one on eyes and skin tones. Now, I'm not sure yet if Jennifer will have a third colouring book, but if she does, I hope that she goes even darker with the skin tones. So to get a really, really dark skin tone. This is great, but I'd like to see one a couple of shades darker even still. Now this is one of the theatrical faces that was on the cover of the book. And it's getting that sort of glowing look. And if you don't have Prismacolors, at the end of the book is a conversion chart, which must have taken forever to do, which basically shows you budget brands of pencils and what you can substitute the Prismacolors for. Now it's not going to be an exact colour, but it'll certainly be close. So we've got our glowing mushroom here. Now Jennifer doesn't use just pencils in her artistry. She uses mixed media, which is, you know, basically your Posca paints, your gel pens, your markers. And I think you'll find that most colourists, if they've been around for a little while and they're wanting to learn more, they start using different supplies, because we all like to have different supplies. I know I do. With those different supplies, there's also some added benefits. So for example, you can get a nicer effect sometimes on your artwork, and it can be more three-dimensional. The other reason that you might like to use different types of supplies is it actually might make your pencils last longer. So for example, if you don't have to do as many layers because you've put down a base of marker, then you're going to get more out of your pencil. One of the reasons that I like using markers as well as pencils is because I've got a hand injury, and layering up piles of pencils is just not fun for me. Now what I really like of the way that Jennifer has done these practice pages is, rather than putting one bunny on one page and then I have to photocopy it to do the bunny, she's put them all on the one page, so I can photocopy this, I can practice it, I can use the one in the book, or there's a PDF code where for a limited time I can download this onto white paper and I can print it out onto proper toned paper and practice the look even further. But I've seen some of these tutorial books and they've got one element on one page, so you have to copy just one thing and you can fit all of these lessons on here. So this is far better for me. And on each one is a little colour chart as well. This is a print-on-demand book by KDP Publishing, which some of you might know as Create Space. And when you're colour printing, there's basically two options. You have either white paper or cream paper. They're your two choices. Most colourists tend to like white paper, and for tutorials it does tend to make it easier to read having black text on white, for instance. So for Jennifer to get this toned paper look, it's not real toned paper, she's actually had to colour in the whole page in that brownish tone to get that fake look. Whereas if you just buy craft paper and print out on it these images on the toned paper, you'll get a far better look probably because it's the real toned paper. But these are great for practicing on it, and it gives you the idea of the differences between printing on different coloured paper. So here are our practice sheets. There's that lovely round image. This is really lovely, isn't it? She's got little handy hints along the way on the reverse. And here again she's put the bunny, the egg, the gummy bears, the candy corns, the lollipops all into the one thing, so that once you've tried those different elements, you can try them all on the one toned paper. And again, once you've practiced all those booties and boots, etc., you can try them on this one. And if you've got her first book, you'll find that there was a lot of gemstones, etc. in there. So you can add those in on this book. And here are our different skin tones and eyes. And again, you can practice those. Now these are from her colouring book, Bella Futura, which if you love colouring portraits of women, that one might be one to check out. I've reviewed it before, if I'm not mistaken. And here's our beautiful lady, and she's printed on like a photo blue, or like a purple. Reminds me of old-fashioned carbon paper. So you're getting these different looks again. But really, it's just all paper that's suitable for colour printing. These aren't different sheets, like the toned ones aren't different. She's actually had to go the trouble of finding that colour blue, basically painting the whole page blue and then putting her artwork on top. Here's our grayscale mushroom that's going to glow when we learn those glowing techniques. And this beautiful bird of paradise. I've got some of these in my garden. And our lovely lotus flower and dragonflies. Great if you like the Chinese colouring books as well. Always lots of those in there. And our beautiful koi fish. And this one has got pre-printed black on it already. And there's that gorgeous Christmas box, the beautiful bow, the baubles, and even like a little round effect there that you can try some of those background techniques with. Now this one I've put some sticky notes on because you can download, if you buy the book, there's a little code inside it here where you can download a video, or there's a YouTube video to watch, and you can download some PDFs of these pages so that you can print them out either at your copy centre or at home. So here we've got the gingerbread men and the candy canes, and she showed us how to colour those in earlier. You see I've got a bit of paper on here and my cute little kitten clips. And that's because I'm covering up 2-3 pages here, because what Jennifer has spent a ton of time doing is converting the Prismacolors to budget brand pencils. So she's got all the colours for the Prismacolor matched up with if they appear in Black Widow, Colleen, Schifferfarb and Castle, and Marco Refine. So basically all the ones that most colourists tend to use. And so that chart would have taken forever to do. And of course it's not going to be 100% exactly the same as Prismacolors, because all pencil brands have different colours, and there's subtle changes between them. They're not exact. And there's a permission slip here for you to take it to your copy centre. And I'm so glad that she's got this, because I ran into this before at my copy centre when I lived close to a university. Had to message up the artist, which wasn't Jennifer, and get permission off Facebook to photocopy. So I'm really glad that it's included here. And Jennifer's just got a note here about copyright. Sometimes, people take things from books and they share them around, and it's really unfair on the artists as well as against the law, because they've put so much work into it, especially in a book like this one. So here's our Secrets of Colouring 2, which is a great companion to Secrets of Colouring 1. Now these aren't basic colouring books, they're for colourists that either want to advance their colouring techniques, to learn different things and different effects. These are for colourists that want to learn more techniques and more theory about artwork and artistry. 2 very beautiful books from Jennifer Zimmermann, where you can learn advanced techniques of colouring with lots of practice pages, and even some featured colourists in there showing off their beautiful artwork and their tutorials that they've shared with us. So absolutely gorgeous books, and lots of practice sheets to learn on. And I look at these books, I look at them quite regularly. So there we have it, Secrets of Colouring 2. Until next time, happy colouring.